Howdy! So it's time for a new vlog because I've been a bit MIA of late, and that's because I was in Sydney and then I was being an anxious mess and I didn't want to put that on you guys. The reason I was an anxious mess, let's work from the bad to the good, was because I faced my biggest fear, or the thing that causes the most anxiety for me, which is my driving test. And I did that 2 days ago. So I was a mess in the lead up, at least like 2 weeks to the lead up. I was starting to get anxious, and on the day, let's not even go there, I felt like I was going to vomit. And yes, so anyway, but I turned up, and after really plucking up the courage to do it and going through it and being ready, my driving tester person comes out and then gets my details and then goes, "Oh, you can't sit this test." And I said, "What?" And he said, "Oh, you haven't done the hazard perception test." Now, I thought the hazard perception test happened after the practical driving test. But no, they changed that. And apparently they sent out a letter to me, which I didn't ever receive. I could have been away in London for that, for all I know. But there was no alert in the lead up saying, "You can't sit the test, make sure you've done your hazard perception." I mean, how hard is it to set out a reminder? And another thing is, I went in a couple of weeks before to get a new learner's card because I'd lost mine, and they got all my details, and not even then did they tell me that, "Oh, you said you're doing your practical test, have you done your hazard perception test?" Nothing. So yeah, that was great. So I had spent all day really preparing myself really for 2 weeks, because was an anxious mess and I suffered terrible anxiety, to not even have to do it, or not even be able to do it, should I say. I did sit the hazard perception test without even practicing and passed that, so at least I'm still one step closer. But yeah, that was a whole $81.40 down the drain for no reason, and I had to pay for another one. All they had to do was remind me or alert me to the fact that the hazard perception is now first, but no. It's just a money-grabbing business industry, that the licensing centre stuff, the government. So fun times. So that's the bad. Or is it bad? I guess I am still one step closer. So I've got to look at the positives in that. I like to be a positive person. So yes, I didn't sit my practical test, but I would have had to do the hazard perception test anyway, and I passed that without even practicing. So yeah, but we'll just have to go through that little roller coaster of emotions again a bit later on down the track. The good. Now the good. So my time in Sydney was just wonderful. I saw everyone I loved, and it was just a wonderful few days there. I was only there for 4 days, and I saw everyone I loved, and as fabulous as it was, it also made me want to really move back there. So hopefully I do get that opportunity to move back there in the near future. But it was just a very good time. It was just nice and relaxed. I got to see everyone I wanted, or nearly everyone I wanted, and just spend time with people that I love, which was good. And yeah, so that's really all I've got to report. I must admit, I did lose a bit of weight when I went to Sydney. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. And that's just because I took hand luggage and I couldn't take Ensures with me. I just didn't have the space. But I went straight back on them, and I'm so back on track now. And that just shows how much I've changed, I guess. You know, I see a drop, instead of being like, "Oh well, that's fine, I'll just keep going." No, I take action. So yeah, that's really all I've got to report. Is there's been good times and bad times since I last spoke, but let's focus on the good times. Happy Australia Day, because it's Australia Day! I hope you all have a wonderful day. I'm going to go watch the fireworks, as you do. Bye guys.